golf course, and it's open to the public. I'm standing on the tee at the 6th hole. This par 4 is a dogleg left with some teeth. Water hugs the left side of the fairway all the way to the hole. I push my drive to the right, no surprise there. I get a decent lie in the rough and punch out and up the fairway. My third shot lands to the left front of the green, missing the large bunker on the right. I chip on and stop about 7 feet from the hole. I get lucky on a right to left breaking putt, and I'm in the hole for a bogey 5. I'll take it. You're in for a great test of your game when you play this link-style course. Get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Windy Knoll. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Windy Knoll and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're playing in Miamisburg at the classic Arthur Hills designed Pipestone Golf Club. Pipestone is one of the most popular courses in the Miami Valley, and it's got to be one of the best maintained, too. I mean, it's a beautiful golf course. We're at the tee on the second hole. Hole number 2 is a long par 5 and Pipestone's most difficult hole. The fairway slopes severely right to left, and there's water down the entire left side, too. I bang my way up the fairway somehow, staying out of the water, and 4 shots later, I finally see the green. It's a sunken green that slopes back to front. Keep the ball in front of the hole, I try to tell myself as I launch my next shot toward the green. Miraculously, I land 3 feet in front of the hole and put it in for my bogey. That was a real test of my game. I tell you what, you should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Cordell Transportation is hiring Class A CDL drivers 23 and over, less than 6 points on their license, for no-touch freight home daily lanes. Outstanding new equipment. Earn up to $270 per day, $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, and paid life insurance. Apply at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Bromley's for Men would physically shave your face for you if we could. Since we can't, we made our 7-blade razor and Get a Grip handle the simple choice for the smoothest shave. Bromley's for Men in the shaving aisle at Kroger.
Try Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill for a fast-acting relief of Honey Lemon, not to mention a soothing chill. So remember, Vicks VapoCool Drops are Honey Lemon and Honey Lemon. Yeah, Honey Lemon Chill. Get fast-acting relief with Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill. Use as directed.
O'Reilly. It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That means you can get up to a $25 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of your Superstart battery. Return power, performance, and reliability to your car, truck, motorcycle, and more with Superstart batteries. Only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens. And all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kinner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Back to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back. Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash with you here on ESPN Dayton. Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. So here's the deal. As of right now, as long as the A's hold off the White Sox, the Reds game tomorrow at noon will remain at noon. If the White Sox end up coming back to win, the Reds game will be pushed back to 3 o'clock. And I think right now the Reds right now almost played a whole game and a half. I think they should be pulling for the White Sox. If anything, I would, if I'm the Reds, if I'm the Braves, I'd be really pulling for them to move the game to 3 o'clock to give them a little bit more resting time after the marathon that they played. And we joked to start the show that when you look at everything, baseball is a sprint. Baseball has been a marathon, not a sprint. And all season it's been a sprint and not a marathon. Well, today it was a marathon for your Cincinnati Reds. I've never seen anything like that. 13 scoreless innings. 13 scoreless innings. And let's be clear, it's very easy to be negative and be down on this team. I'm not going to be as negative as some people are, and here's why. The Reds performed up to par in regards to who they are. The Reds have not been a good hitting team all year. They didn't hit the ball well today. But they did at least get runners in scoring position, obviously 13 times. 13 times they had a runner in scoring position. They left 13 runners on base today. I mean, it started during the day. It's almost night. I mean, I have no clue what time it is to begin with. Look, let's be clear here. The Reds performed up to who they were. Not a good hitting team, one of the worst hitting teams in baseball. And yet you have the stat nerd Reds fans out there who like to defend David Bell and say that he manages this team the way he's supposed to. As I said earlier, Alex Rodriguez was driving me absolutely bonkers during this broadcast. There's so many times I wanted to look at him the way Biden looked at Trump last night and said, will you shut up, man? And no, don't worry. That wasn't, it was political, but it wasn't political. I'm sure you can give me a pass. We don't need to get too butthurt over that stuff right now, do we? But Alex Rodriguez said it best, that it was hard to watch this game because so many times you had teams who were struggling to hit a home run, but yet they continued to try to hit it out of the ballpark every time, over and over and over. It wasn't working. Advance the runners, move the runners over. Now, hell, that may not have mattered tonight because the Reds had runners in scoring position all night. They had bases loaded in 3 straight innings. In the last 2 innings, they had the bases loaded, and they were loaded with less than 2 outs. You can't even get the ball in the air into the outfield to give the runner at third time to tag up and get home? Really? And then you have all the base running blunders. That's on David Bell. That's managing. All right, but good for Trevor Bauer. Good, and by the way, Michael Lorenzen. Good for him. Good for Sims. Good for everybody. I'm not even mad that they lost. As far as from the pitching, as giving up a run in the third, they gave up. This is a Braves team that has put up 26 runs in one game this year. All right. They have 7 games this season of 12 or more runs. One of those games is a 26-run performance. That team can hit. That team can score runs. And the Reds pitching came out and held them to 1 run in 13 innings. I'm beyond impressed with that. Good for them. I'm happy for them on that. But I'm not going to give David Bell the benefit of the doubt on that because when you pitch well, you take the decision-making out of his hands. All right. You know what I mean? Like when you play well, like everyone that was sitting there saying, David Bell, no one was giving him praise when they were playing well. That's because he didn't have to make any major decisions. When they're pitching well, he doesn't have to go overreact to if a guy's having a rough inning. When hitters hit the way they're supposed to, he doesn't have to take guys out. Like you got to let guys kind of hit through some stuff. Marty Brenneman said it best. If you look at you look at some of the guys that they put in that lineup throughout the year and how he wasn't patient with them. I mean, you go out and get Shogo Akiyama. You spend a lot of money on him. You talk about who's going to be your leadoff hitter. You didn't start him game 1 of the regular season. You started him game 2, but you batted him 6th. It took you over 2.5 weeks before you finally did put him at the leadoff spot. And then when he did lead off, you would give him 2 at-bats and you'd pinch hit for him late in the game. You got to let these guys hit through some things. But when they're hitting well, David Bell leaves them alone, which is smart sometimes, right? But then sometimes you have a guy that'll be on a tear like last year and he'd give him a rest day. I mean, David Bell, my biggest problem with the Reds making the playoffs this year is the fact that he probably bought himself another year. That's my biggest problem with the Reds making the playoffs. They made it in spite of him. Period. Tim Joyce on Facebook. Again, we are live on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. Give the page a like. You'll be able to watch the show daily from 3 to 6 p.m. We're on late today, of course, coming up after the Reds game. Tim Joyce says it's terrible. This team has not been able to hit with runners in scoring position for years now. Pitching was great. Hey, I got a question. Got a question for you Reds fans. Where's my Dusty Baker haters at? That was Dusty Baker-esque, right? Isn't that the reason you hated Dusty Baker? Right? But we're giving David Bell a pass. Right? Now, that's my anger is mainly directed towards my Twitter peeps over there, because the Twitter peeps are the strange ones. They're the ones that like to defend David Bell. Facebook, there's a little bit more people who are kind of leveled and grounded. How about Travco here? He goes, I won't be calling in today. Your censor guy would be working overtime, bleeping out what I have to say. David Bell should be fired before going to game 2. He should not be fired before going to game 2. He should not be fired. But he does get a lot of the fingers pointed at him. Some middle, some pointer.
Whoa.
As far as that's concerned. Brady says, Bell says that Castellanos going to third was good base running. He was out by 3 feet. I mean, so much. Mike on Facebook. Again, we're taking your reaction on Facebook. We're going to open up the phone lines back up here in a moment as soon as we get that straightened up. Votto not rounding third. Again, this is a Facebook message from Mike. He goes, Votto not rounding third, Tucker bunting with 1 out with a runner on third, Aquino getting in a pickle on home, countless strikeouts with runners in scoring position. If it's not a home run ball, then it's a loss with this team. And this goes back to what I was saying about Alex Rodriguez earlier. Alex Rodriguez was so frustrated because he's like, hey, these guys aren't scoring runs. You know, if you want to talk about, like, for instance, Kev, the NBA, this is my analogy earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA, when you look at the NBA, people hate the NBA now because it's all they do is shoot threes, man. All they do is shoot threes. But, man, they make them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they make them. They're capable of hitting them, and they make them. The teams that shoot a lot of threes, you don't see teams that aren't. You know what happens, Kev, when you have a team in the NBA that can't shoot threes? You know what happens in college when you have teams that can't shoot threes? They don't shoot that many threes. They play to their strengths. Okay, well, all of college basketball, all of the NBA, it's all about the three-point shot right now. But you know what? We're not a good three-point shooting team. So we're going to go back to what works for us. If we have an advantage inside, we're going to slow it down and go in the post. You know, hey, if we have good guard play but not good shooters, we're going to run a lot of isolation. We're going to try to create some opportunities one-on-one for him to get to the bucket, right? That's what you do in basketball. You adapt. Sure, you want to play that way. You want to stretch the floor. You want to have shooters. But if you don't have it, you adapt. But in baseball, the moronic sport of baseball, it's, no, damn it, we got to play this way. We got to hit home runs every time. Yeah, but you're not good at hitting home runs. Who cares? That's what everyone else is doing. Yeah, but when they try to hit home runs, they actually hit home runs. Damn it, my calculator said I'm smarter than you. That's the baseball way now. So Alex Rodriguez had the line of the day. He goes, you would rather lose playing your way than win playing the old school way. And he's right. What's wrong with laying a bunt down?
Nothing.
I mean, Tucker Barnhart was like teasing the bunt, and then he was a good at bat. I mean, it was a good at bat. It didn't end in anything special, obviously, but he was showing bunt. But then again, you're not going to respect the bunt because you know damn well he's not going to bunt it. Like what? What do you want? Like what are you doing? Why even tease the bunt? That's like pump faking from behind the 3-point line, but the defense is standing like 5 feet from you because they know you ain't going to shoot it. They're almost daring you to shoot it. They're almost daring Tucker Barnhart to bunt when you already have 2 strikes anyway. So let that baby roll foul. You're out. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. So basketball, they are very good. They are very, very good at being able to adapt to their team's strengths. Why can't baseball do that, Kevin? Why is it in baseball it's one way or no way? Look at the NFL. Look at the Cleveland Browns. Easy, Bengals fans, just hear me out. It's driving me nuts, but the Browns are doing the smart thing. Kevin and I argued about Baker Mayfield being a game manager. It ticks me off. I think that the word game, the phrase game manager has a negative connotation to it. It means you're not good enough to do this. Well, they don't believe Baker's good enough to air it out. You have OBJ, you have Jarvis, you have all these weapons, but they don't believe Baker's good enough to play that, that spread offense to air it out. So what do? Run. They play to their strengths. Yeah. You have a team like the Browns. You have a team like the Titans who plays to their strengths. The Cincinnati Bengals are the baseball version of a football team where, hey, we know we can't pass because of our offensive line, but guess what? We're going to continue to pass. Baseball, hey, we know we can't hit home runs. We're not a good home run hitting team, but we're going to continue to try to hit it out of the park. It's embarrassing. The sport looks stupid. If people think that a 13-inning extra inning game is good for baseball, it's good for baseball if there's a lot of excitement in there. There wasn't anything exciting about that today. It was bad baseball. Kevin, period. And the Braves played bad. But the Braves also were doing that thing where they were trying to hit it out of the ballpark every time. Alex Rodriguez was sharing examples from when he played, saying that he learned as a young player when he first got to the Yankees, that Joe Torre pulled him up to the side and just said, hey, not everything has to be a home run. When you focus on trying to just put the ball in play, the home run becomes part of the natural swing to begin with.
Yes, sir.
Worry about putting the ball in play. Base hits are king.
Yes.
Base hits are king. Base hits are how you get rallies going. Base hits are how you at least get something going. Now, the Reds are interesting. They had plenty of base runners today. They just couldn't capitalize on it. But the Braves, that was ugly on their part. The Braves had 7 runners in scoring, or they had 7 runners in scoring position. But keep in mind, or base runners, that's through 13 innings. You had 1 guy on base every other inning, basically, is how that rounds out to. That was ugly. I'm not like, people on Facebook are like, man, at least it was a good game. That was not a good game. It was not a good game. You scored no runs. You lost in 13 innings. You burned out your bullpen. You killed your team's morale, confidence-wise. You think that they're going to step into the plate with confidence tomorrow, Kev? No. Tomorrow, the Reds are done. The Reds will get beat tomorrow. And, hey, remember what I said? Pitch Luis Castillo first. Wouldn't you feel a lot better about Trevor Bauer on the mound tomorrow in an elimination game versus Luis Castillo, who's going to be pitching in his very first playoff game? Again, I know that's not how baseball's played, but it goes back to my point. I don't care about how to do. There's not one way to do things. You do what's best for your team.
You looking like you got it all worked out now because they're in a world of trouble. I mean, a quick series, a game could be over this time tomorrow. Series could be over. Season over this time tomorrow.
Very frustrating. 457-9464. We've opened up the phone lines. Brian Arnold on Twitter says it was 37 total strikeouts. It broke the record. Okay, good. The last thing I had in my notes was 34, which had tied it. So 37 combined strikeouts. By the way, that's bad. Like, that's bad, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we're talking about, like, hey, home run or nothing. That's bad. That is not good. That is not good. Ron Howard says saw a lot of porch swings. Tim Joyce says Cubs and Marlins should both automatically advance after that. Oh, wait. Oh, well, you could put that on Facebook. I just can't read it. But that crap show, basically. We're going to replace that with that OBJ show. All right, that OBJ show. But yeah, so there you go.
So you're calling us a wrap tomorrow. Put a percentage on it.
I'm overreacting right now because I'm upset and angry about how that game went. But it depends on, I mean, they got to the playoffs hitting 212 on the season. They got to the playoffs being a team that hits 212. So what I'm thinking is the part of me wants to believe that this isn't new to them. They've been bad at hitting with runners in scoring position all year. With runners in scoring position, they've only brought in 27% of those runs all year. That's the lowest in Major League Baseball. All right, so they're used to these offensive struggles. So it's not like this is the first time they're facing it. I think tomorrow what you're going to get, Kev, if I had to predict, you're going to get run support, but I don't think Luis Castillo has a good outing. I think the pressure of Luis Castillo pitching his very first playoff game in an elimination game, which is why I was all for pitching him first. Because today you didn't have any run support. That sucks, but man, at least you have your ace on the mound tomorrow. I would treat a 3-game series much different than a 5-game or a 7-game series. That's how I pay. 5-game, put your ace on the mound game 1. 7-game, put your ace on the mound game 1. 3-game, ace should always go game 2 because either you win game 1 and you have your ace to close it out in game 2, or you lose game 1. But hey, you feel good about the fact that you have Trevor Bauer, your ace on the mound in game 2 to keep you, to save you from elimination. That's how I would approach that. But that's not how it's going to work. And I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I'm wrong all the time. But my gut tells me they'll get run support tomorrow, but it won't be enough because Luis Castillo is going to have a bad outing. And then, or if he has a decent outing to at least the 6th inning, that bullpen shot. Now, You still have Amir Garrett. You have some guys there, but they went through pretty much everybody. I mean, I'm hoping, again, it's the playoffs. Do you use Michael Lorenzen again tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting how they choose to move forward with that.
Yeah, because, if they are able to pull off tomorrow, guess what? They got another game on Friday. So the turnaround is like that. And that's what we were talking about with the NBA bubble. The teams that are going deep into these rounds, like going into game 6s and 7s, they have such a short turnaround. There's no time to recover, to let your body recover, to get some rest. So you're thinking from a pitcher aspect, you go through that bullpen who was shaky all season anyway, and that you can't expect them to basically do what they did today again tomorrow on short rest and on limited time. So the Reds are up against it, man. And basically the whole whole Ohio baseball is up against it because the Indians are up against it tonight as well. So in a matter of hours, the Indians could be done, and in about 24 hours, the Reds could be done, which sucks.
Yep, but then it's on to football, but we got to wait, but at least you got your Bengals. Oof. I threw this question earlier. Who do you, and fans, hear me out. Who do you trust more? I put this on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. The reactions have been pretty entertaining, if you ask me. Who do you trust more who do you trust more? Reds hitters with runners in scoring position or the Bengals offensive line? Who do you trust more?
Yeesh.
That's a little iffy. Now, a lot of people have been getting creative with the answers. I mean, when you think about it, Joe Burrow's still been able to, at least, with that bad offensive line, Bengals have been able to get some points up on the board. The Reds with runners and scoring, they can't get any points up on the board as far as that's concerned. We got to vote for Reds hitters. If Burrow had the Browns offensive line, they would be 3-0 right now. That's an interesting point. What are the Bengals very well could be 3-0. If they had just an average offensive line. David says neither. They both can't do their job. Dennis says Burrow can still score points with the crappy offensive line. Andrew says Reds hitters. He's all about, he trusts the Reds hitters more with runners in scoring position than he does that offensive line. But my favorite one, of course, this one says that he, as far as both of them, Nick says that he would trust Casey Anthony to watch his children before trusting either the Reds with runners in scoring position or the Bengals offensive line.
Lord.
It's tough being a Cincinnati pro sports fan in any category as far as that goes. All right, so we'll be back in a moment. We are live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Like it on Facebook. Follow along. We're going to continue to talk baseball. We'll preview tomorrow's Game 2 matchup. We'll have the pitching matchups. Real quick, by the way, as we close out this Reds conversation, you look at the Braves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They 7 bullpen guys, because 8 total pitchers with Fried, but they went through 7 pitchers out of the bullpen. The Reds went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Braves went very deep into their bullpen. The Reds did as well. So both teams, I mean, we're talking about how the Reds are impacted by that, but the Braves are impacted by that too.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting how that lineup looks like, what it looks like tomorrow, what David Bell's going to do with that. How do the Reds respond? We'll get to that. But when we come back, talk about college football, Pac-12 commissioner requested an 18 playoff today. That was held in a meeting. How was that request? What was the response to that request? How was that taken? An interesting take at that and how it could impact the future of college football in the playoff. We'll discuss when we come back, as well as more of your Reds thoughts and reaction. Your reaction, if you can't call in, again, all reaction being taken on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Head there now and let's discuss. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
And now a game of commercial chicken brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So, have you noticed how everyone's grammar is completely awful now? Like, the texting and the LOLs. Whatever happened to punctuation? I mean, drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wendy Knoll Golf Club in Springfield is Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course. But it's much more. The Stables, our full-service restaurant, includes outdoor seating and Friday night local entertainment. The Derby Banquet and Conference Center fits up to 150 guests and is the perfect setting for corporate, school, wedding, and family events. You feel like you're at an exclusive private club. But Wendy Knoll and all its world-class amenities is open to the public, and everyone is welcome. Visit WendyKnollGolfClub.com for more information.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the By Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're in Greenville, Ohio today playing the beautiful Turtle Creek Golf Club. This course has been rated the #1 golf course in the Dayton area. Extremely well maintained and spectacular views. We just finished up hole number 9 and turned the corner for the second half of our round. I'm finishing one of their famous Turn Club sandwiches and staring down the fairway at the awesome number 10 hole. Trees line both sides of this narrow downhill par 4. Now it's not long, but being straight obviously is critical. That's the hardest part of my game, but today I drive it right down the middle. If I can avoid the water on the left, I have a chance for par. My second shot lands in good shape, just short, and I'm up in the hole in 2 for a par. That's what keeps me coming back. Oh yeah, that sandwich, that was pretty good too. You have got to play this course. Get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Turtle Creek. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Turtle Creek and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from The Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I have had CertaPro painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro Painters knows how to get the job done right, and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time, they get the job done right and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro Painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Looking for fall flavor that really brings the heat? Enjoy a home-style meal with a kick at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, thanks to our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $6.49. Dip into your spicy side with a big helping of our Spicy Jumbo Dippers, an individual side, a fluffy biscuit, and a regular drink, all at a great price. It's the easy way to fire up your taste buds. Get a home-style meal made easy with our Spicy Jumbo Dippers combo for only $6.49. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
John McManus is running hard to be our Montgomery County Treasurer. Montgomery County is already one of the highest tax counties in the state. It seems like every day we're being told to pay higher and higher taxes. Now, in the middle of a pandemic, we're told to get ready for another tax increase next year. When John McManus was vice president of the largest school board in Montgomery County, he fought against property tax increases. As our next county treasurer, he'll stand with us again. This November, vote John McManus for Montgomery County Treasurer.
I'm John McManus, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Upgrade to the wiper blades trusted by Rainer Zietlow to break world records. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are real-world proven for extreme weather performance that lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are only available at Walmart.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the concentrated cleaner that's perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new again. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green. Why is the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed your answer to better health and wellness? It's proven quality sleep. Any more questions?
Yes, I'm always freezing and he overheats.
It's temperature balancing, so you can sleep better together.
But can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable.
So I'll have more energy for yoga.
Yes, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep.
Namaste.
Namaste to you, too. And now save up to $700 on select new Sleep Number 360 smart beds, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
For the first time in 7 years, the Cincinnati Reds are back in the playoffs. Don't miss a second of the Reds in the MLB wildcard round as they go head-to-head with the Atlanta Braves. Every hit, every pitch, right here on Dayton's home of the Reds. 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, a couple scores from around Major League Baseball's playoff round here. Again, the Athletics have a 5-2 3-run lead over the White Sox. Top of the eighth, the White Sox have a 1-0 series lead. If the White Sox come back to beat the Athletics, the Reds game tomorrow with the Braves will be pushed back to 3:08. I've never understood with this weird like first pitch to like 3:07, 3:08, 3:04, 3:05, that type of thing. But so be keeping an eye on that score. I know we all will. The Rays have a 8-1 lead over the Blue Jays, and that's after 4 innings of play. The Padres trail the Cardinals 4-2. The series, again, this is game 1 between the Padres and the Cardinals. Also going back to that Rays and Blue Jays score, Tampa Bay already leads that series 1-0, and right now jumping out to that 8-1 lead, it looks like, barring a big comeback from the Blue Jays, the Rays are already going to be punching their ticket to the next round of the American League playoffs. Braves 1-0 shutout win over the Reds. Final after 13 innings, long innings. The game started at noon. It didn't get done till literally right around 5 o'clock. The Astros, how about that? 3-1, a 2-run win over the Minnesota Twins. And that was a 7 seed upsetting the 2 seed right there. And the Twins get knocked out and swept in a 3-game series. They go out 2-0, 2-0 series. They get swept. I'm sorry. The Cubs, how about that? They lose to the Marlins. Kevin, we talked about that yesterday. The Marlins, they have always, every time they make the postseason, they win the World Series. Mm-hmm. And they beat the Cubs 5-1 in game 1. They lead the Cubs a 1-0 series lead. How about that?
Opportunity, take advantage.
All right, so your Indians go down last night to the Yankees. They trail the Yankees 1-0 in the best of 3. They'll be in action coming up later on tonight. Again, that'll be a 7 o'clock first pitch at Progressive Field. The Dodgers and Brewers game 1 later tonight as well. That'll be a 10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Dodgers favored in that one. The Yankees favored tonight over the Indians. So again, we're keeping an eye on everything else going on around Major League Baseball tomorrow. A lot of really good games as well. I'm excited for that. So keep that in mind. Reds Braves game 2 tomorrow, 11:30 the pregame, 12 o'clock the first pitch right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Let's go to the phones, 457-9464. We got Daryl waiting on us. Daryl, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh, man, what a day to be a Cincinnati Reds fan.
No kidding. No kidding. Like, I don't know how to feel. How do you feel? Like 13 innings, you held the Braves, one of the most explosive offensive teams in baseball. They only scored 1 run in 13 innings. That's what makes it so painful, because the Reds couldn't put 1 run up on the board.
I took the day off work, man.
Did you really?
Reds in the playoffs for the first time since 2013, and I felt like I watched them strand runners for hours, like 8 of them.
Well, it was 5. That's what they did. For 5 hours, they stranded runners. They left 13 on base.
God. And then the aggressive steal. Man, I'm done with David Bell, man. Fuck this team, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, man. Every time. Every time. I mean, that was the hard one. And
I think we're done with calls for today.
He came in hot. Well, that's why someone earlier said they weren't going to call in, because they don't trust themselves not to go up. So Reds fans are angry. Fans are upset. I get it. And it is what it is at this point. But again, we'll talk more Reds coming up here in just a few moments. 457-9464. We're live on Facebook. Go to the Justin Kidder Show on Facebook and leave your comments in the comment section and follow along. Okay. So earlier today, college football, again, it's been a quiet day in sports because all eyes have been on the world of baseball. This reminds me of March Madness. It really does. And I will say this, one more thing about the Reds. For the first time in a while, I was like, I can't remember the last time I was watching a game that I was like uneasy and nervous about. I felt like I would have been like that had the Flyers, got to watch them in the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't have cared about the A-10 tournament. I mean, they win, they lose, whatever. We knew they were in. I would have been antsy in the NCAA tournament. When Wright State made the NCAA tournament a few years ago, I get antsy. When they're in their conference tournament, because you got to win that to get, I get antsy. With the teams I follow, I get antsy. I haven't been antsy in a long time. That Buckeye-Clemson game last year, the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah. I told you before, I was annoyed with last year, as good as the Buckeyes were, but there was not one Saturday morning I woke up and felt antsy. I was just like, man, I know they're going to win. It's just, I'm excited for the game to get here, but I'm not nervous about them losing. I wasn't nervous about Wisconsin. I wasn't nervous about Penn State. Wasn't nervous about Michigan. But the Clemson game, that day I remember being really antsy throughout the day. There's not many games that, right now, there's not a lot of games that get me feeling that way. Well, the Reds today, I felt it felt like a big game. It felt like a huge opportunity, not because the Reds were an underdog going in, and technically they were, but to me, when you have Trevor Bauer on the mound, when you have the capable bats in that lineup, I just thought the playoffs are a completely different season. different things. I don't care about what happened in the regular season. The point is you got here. You have capable bats in that lineup. Trevor Bauer pitched about as good as what you can expect of an ace. He did his job. But yeah, I was nervous watching a game for the first time, and it felt good. It felt good because I mean, first 3 weeks of the Browns, I haven't felt that. There's really no big game yet that I felt like that for. Today, I felt it. Clemson, Ohio State, the Fiesta Bowl. I don't know when I'll feel like that again. Maybe
Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Sunday.
Maybe what's
Kinder
Sunday?
Bowl.
I don't know if it's his regular season. It's so
Ball.
early. It's so early.
Your fandom is on the line.
Reds, please go after Mike Trout. Look, the Reds, the only difference between the Reds and the Angels is that the Angels have Mike Trout because both teams rarely make the playoffs. I mean, how about that? Again, Reds in the playoffs now. It might be a short-lived run in the playoffs as far as that's concerned. All right, let's switch gears here. College football. So Pac-12, they are the last to come to the party. The Big Ten was late to the party. The Pac-12 is late to the party. The MAC is late to the party. I thought I'd throw the MAC a little love and put them in the same conversation, but and the commissioner of the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 has been very silent. Like the Big Ten's been very loud. From the time that it was announced that the Big Ten was going to, postpone its fall season, it's been the fans were upset, the parents were upset. There was protest, there was confusion. You had a good chunk of university presidents who wanted nothing to do with this fall season. Others were adamant that it needed to happen, and there was politics involved. I mean, it got mentioned last night in the debate, and you knew he would do it. And I saw Randy Wade say it had nothing to do with him. The sad thing is, as irritating as it is for most Buckeye fans, is yes, he did play a role in it coming back. Whether you want to admit it or not, the head honcho, the guy, Donald Trump, he did play a role in bringing back Big Ten football. But he made sure to bring that up last night. And it was like a weird swerve, too. He forced that in there. Of course. Because he was looking for a shot to drop it. And he forced it in there. He was able to sneak it in there. And man, I tell you, and people lost their minds with that. But no, there was so much. It was so chaotic. There was so much chaos that went into getting the Big Ten season back. And there was the Pac-12 just sitting there, chilling, legs crossed, singing Kumbaya. Everything's fine. We had, Herm Edwards on. I love Herm Edwards. He always gives us, plenty of time every year. It's always cool getting to catch up with him, former teammate of Keith Byers, with the Eagles, worked at ESPN for a long time, former NFL coach. And when we talked with him, Kev, it was just so I remember that day we called him. He stepped out of a team meeting, and the team meeting was him and his players playing Xbox and PlayStation. They were doing a draft. They were all they were all doing a big NFL Madden tournament. They were all doing their own draft.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, they were loose.
Xbox or PlayStation.
They didn't care. They didn't care what was going on, right? It's not that they didn't care, but you heard Herm Edwards say, "Hey, I'm not the head coach right now. The doctors are." The team doctors, they're the ones in charge. So we do what they tell us to do. But there was no urgency from Herm Edwards. I'm not taking a shot at him. That's just the reality of it. There was no urgency. There's no urgency from the Pac-12. So now that everyone is sitting at the table, ready to go. Okay, the Big Ten's still a couple weeks out. We know the Pac-12 is a couple weeks out. Pac-12's playing 7 games. The Big Ten's playing 8 games. The SEC kicked off last week. The ACC's been kicked off for weeks now. So the Big 12's been rolling. But now a meeting was called today. The Pac-12 commissioner strongly urged and was angry when he requested that there be an 18 playoff this year, and was angry when the other Power 5 commissioners shot it down. Pac-12 commissioner, you're not allowed to be angry here. I'm not saying you should be punished. That's not what this is. But you didn't have anything to say during this entire thing. And then now that you're sitting at the table with everyone, now you want to have everyone wait for you. It doesn't work that way. Look, no one was waiting for the Big Ten to catch up. You had Dabo Swinney come out and say, hey, the playoffs need to stay at 4. The playoffs need to start on time. I agree with him. College football technically is rolling, and you're either a part of it or you're not. I'm not a fan of the 18 playoff, not just in a regular setting, but in this setting either. I don't even know what it accomplishes. There's still going to be teams left out. There's still going to be teams that deserve to be in that don't get in. There's still going to be teams that don't get in because they didn't play enough games, or they didn't have enough games that mattered, or something along those lines. So, Kevin, I don't understand why he was so adamant about getting an 18 playoff in, mainly because he knows his conference for how many straight years now won't be invited to the big dance.
I'm not a fan of it either. I'm not a fan of, we've talked about this all the time. We know that there's really only 3 big dogs in college football. It's Ohio State, Clemson, Bama, and occasionally, LSU would jump up there, Auburn would jump up there, Florida State would jump up there. So the fact that people are trying to expand it, basically what they're trying to do is catch lightning in a bottle, like teams that catch lightning in a bottle that are wild card teams in the NFL. Go on a run, maybe some things break your way, and boom, you're in the national championship game, and oh my goodness, we won it. That's not how it's going to work. And I hope they don't go to that, and I hope they never expand it. I was never a big fan of adding the playoff 4 because I like the BCS. I don't really remember a time in the BCS outside of the year that there were 3 undefeated teams and Auburn got left out, quote unquote, the national championship. I think they got it right every time in the BCS era. So I never was like open arms about like, oh man, we need to expand it. We need more teams in there. We know why they expanded it, because it means more money. So eventually they will expand it and water it down just like they do everything else for money. So I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah, I love the 4 team. Every game matters. We're watching week 1 games, and like we've already seen teams go down. Like you got the big one this week with Auburn and Auburn, Georgia. I mean, if Auburn goes down this weekend, they're out.
Stakes are high.
So teams are. I mean, this is a playoff game this weekend.
Yeah.
Not every weekend's a playoff game. Even though if you lose, you're out of the playoff if it's against a bad team. I mean, Ohio State learned that in back-to-back years. But I love the 4-team playoff. Jason Pruitt says I would love to see an 8-team playoff system for college football. Jason, I'll give you this. I would love to see an 8-team playoff. I would love, like, if there was an 8-team playoff, I would love to watch it. It would be fun, but I don't want an 8-team playoff because I think that college football has the best complete package of games that matter in the regular season leading up to the actual postseason. And if you do an 8-team playoff, you water down the regular season to where not every week matters.
Right.
Like in baseball, not every game matters,
right,
but the playoffs matter.
Yeah.
The NBA, no one cares about the regular season. They care about the playoffs. The NFL, you love it at the beginning, get bored in the middle, excitement picks up at the end for the playoff races, and everyone cares about the playoffs. College football is the only sport that people care from the first week it kicks off until the very last second of the national championship game. That's why I wouldn't mess with it as far as that goes. But I wouldn't be against, like, if you got to watch all these big-time cool college football matchups, it's great, but don't mess it up because football is perfect from beginning to end right now as far as I'm concerned. Folks, thank you. This was a shortened show. We are off tomorrow. The Reds play at noon. Game 2 of the Wild Card Series between the Reds and the Braves. Again, if you're just getting off work, Reds and Braves, Game 1 ended after 13 innings. The Braves would take a 1-0 victory in Game 1. How about that? A 1-0 win. 13 innings, and the Reds couldn't put a run up on the board. But man, the pitching stepped up. That does it for us until Friday. This has been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410